Silently, sadly, they kept watch over him in New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral. Senator Bobby Kennedy, a man who aspired to the summit of greatness, but who died along that noble route, victim of an assassin's bullet. The great Roman Catholic Cathedral was an island of peace and coolness. It was also a place of the deepest grief for the thousands who had waited in the humid heat to say goodbye to the man who had so much to do, but whom fate did not allow the time. The rich, the poor, Negro and white, they came on this sad summer day to weep, to pray, to mourn, to pay homage. They said 5,000 an hour passed through the brownstone cathedral on Fifth Avenue. But the many who went, some to look silently, others to cry unashamedly, were but a representative few of a nation of millions, stunned, horrified, and grief-stricken by the dread deed which had taken the life of yet another Kennedy. On this day, politics were forgotten. The world shared America's heartache at the loss of a man, a husband and father. When at last the silent tributes of the people were over, the cathedral welcomed guests of the Kennedy family to the Requiem Mass. Cary Grant was amongst them. There were so many friends, so many grateful to be allowed to make this personal mark of respect. Averell Harriman, Harry Belafonte, Richard Nixon, Nelson Rockefeller, Dean Rusk, President Johnson. So the famous entered this high place of worship to join the prayers for the soul of a man they once called Bobby. A man who, for some, had been a tough opponent, for others, a crusader, but to all, a friend. Sadly, but with pride, they heard about this man. Sadly, too, they joined the prayers and sang the hymns with the bereaved Kennedy family. While outside, in the summer heat, the grieving family of all Americans also sorrowed for the loss of not one, but two men, the brothers John and Robert. And so the Requiem Mass was done. And out into the sunshine of a June day came the clergy of a faith which was so strong in Robert Kennedy, whose coffin was gently and carefully carried from the holy place for the journey to the spot where it would rest for eternity. How bravely Mrs. Ethel Kennedy and her eldest son, Joseph, bore themselves on this day. Members of the Kennedy family followed the coffin from the cathedral. In this time of tragedy, their close kinship was such comfort, for together they were to return once more to the cemetery on a hill above Washington, where less than 5 years before they had laid to rest another Kennedy son. Now this train was bearing the body of Robert to join his brother on that hillside. As the funeral train passed through town after town, the people of America paid tribute. But even now there was more tragedy. 2 people were killed by an oncoming train. The journey was delayed. At last they came to Washington. It was late and dark. A gentle summer rain fell to cool the night. Young Joseph was a man at this time as he led the pallbearers to his father's final place of rest. Among the pallbearers was Lord Harlech, Averell Harriman, and former astronaut Colonel John Glenn. Gently, they set the coffin down close by the eternal flame, which marks the grave of the late President Kennedy, the much-loved and admired brother of Robert, who would now rest so near. The flag which had draped the coffin was folded in traditional manner by Colonel Glenn as the family sadly looked on. Colonel Glenn handed it to Senator Edward Kennedy. It now belonged to the widow, the 10 orphaned children, and the unborn infant that will never know its great father. Mrs. Ethel Kennedy knelt in final prayer. The man who had championed so many peaceful causes, planned so many great things, and to whom the Negro population of the United States looked with great hope for the future, had gone. Where would they look now? Men like the Kennedy brothers are a rare breed. They never knew poverty, yet they had compassion for it. Color of skin was no barrier for their friendship. Peace and happiness was their aim. Bobby used to quote these words by George Bernard Shaw. They are what he stood for. Some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream of things that never were and ask, why not?